In a world of dungeons, dragons, and devious DMs, 4 adventurers set out to save the mysterious land of Baleflow.
I'm Frank Bunty, Dwarven Paladin and all-round badass. I like nothing more than righting wrongs and smiting evil.
I'm Bonarail, a half-elf rogue that'll rob you blind and mess you up.
I'm Lord Sugar, a human wizard noble. I'm rich, I'm better than everyone, and I set fire to everything.
I'm Draco Justice, Dragonborn Monk. For when justice calls, who will answer? I will. I'm Draco Justice.
And I'm Doddy, the resident DM. I'll be throwing everything at these guys, including the kitchen sink. Ooh, a mimic kitchen sink.
Nerd OD&D from the Nod Network. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and wherever else you get podcasts.
But we've got like caramel coffee and chocolate coffee, fruit coffee, spiced coffee, normal coffee in the kitchen.
You sound like Ramona Flowers listing teas.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Nerd OD podcast. This week you've got me, Dave.
Me, Dan.
And me, Reg.
Ooh, look at that crew. So here we are.
Is having a night off.
He is having a night off. A well-deserved
This is the
break.
most beautiful threesome I've ever been involved in.
Wow, okay. That's a big deal because I know all about your threesomes, Reg.
Oh, jeez. Save it for Reg
I'm
after
kidding.
dark.
I'm completely kidding. I don't know, but I'm kidding. But I'm not.
It might be the only one I've ever been in, but that is still the most beautiful threesome I've ever had.
The one I know about.
What was that? Was that Ash commenting
Ash
on?
does
Yeah,
threesomes?
Ash was like, the only one you ever had. And I was like, yes.
That is all that matters, is that is true.
Yes.
So how are you guys?
I'm doing bloody good, sir.
Not sure how we topped that little intro. I think we've kind of peaked a bit too soon, haven't we?
That's it. Oh, thanks
I know,
for
that's reasons.
No, I'm doing good because today is the day where we pod. It's Cyber Monday and it's also payday. So
What a combination.
so I got paid and now I'm waiting until I get paid again.
Fair enough. Days when you got paid, I remember those.
They will come again, Dan. The sun will shine again on your bank balance.
Yeah.
I got frustrated this year with Good Friday and Cyber Monday because there's nothing like there's loads of stuff I could buy, but there's nothing like that I actually really want to get that I've got exciting discounts about. Like I've been trawling through Amazon, trawling through various retailers. I've got some presents and various bits for the kid and whatever else, but like I don't know what I want. There's nothing grabbing me, with all the discounts as they are. And it's nuts because you think there'd be something I'd be able to see and go, oh yeah, I definitely want that. But
That's the
I
thing,
can't.
isn't it? It's like I get so excited. I'm like, ooh, what can we get? And the only thing I ever buy on Black Friday for myself is games. And like Cyber Monday, it's just games. But now I don't have a console,
Good
and
games,
I'm only
actually.
playing WoW. I'm like, I don't need games. I can't buy games because I've got nothing to play it on apart from this, and I'm playing WoW on this.
You have bought all the WoW. That is all you need.
So yes, I was like, so there's nothing for me. So what can I get everyone else? And that's when I went on my
That's
binge.
the spirit, Reg. That's
Yeah.
the spirit.
It's good. And I did also treat myself. If you try Costa's new little festive range that they've got, we've got some delectable hot beverages and cold beverages.
Their Irish cream one that I had recently was very nice. Don't know if that's technically Christmas or not. but
It
still.
is indeed. That's their new festive winter warmer. Because I think the class is Bailey's, don't they? But I love the the purple one. I think it's called, the Quality Street, the purple one. They made like a coffee over that. I think it's a latte or some bullshit, but it's just a really nice hazelnutty caramelly coffee. All the cream stuff, and you get a little purple Quality Street with it, which is divine. And Ash is obsessed with the After 8 one that they do. And yeah, they are very, very nice. And they also do a Terry's chocolate orange one, which I'm now eating the muffin of as we speak. Like that. It's bloody delightful. So that's been my bit of a mini obsession since I found out they got launched. And it's made it even worse now. Ash just put the card on my phone. So I just could I might as well give us some more points and go buy a Costa coffee. She's like, yeah, but we've got like caramel coffee and chocolate coffee, fruit coffee, spiced coffee, normal coffee in the kitchen.
You sound like Ramona Flowers listing her teas.
Yes. Yeah.
But there is that though these days. I mean, I can relate to that because I have a lot of coffee in my house all the time. But every once in a while, I'll just go and walk and buy a coffee from somewhere like Costa because it's just nice to not make it yourself. And it's nice to get something a little bit different.
But is it £4 nice?
It's worth it.
It must be.
It's worth it when Costa are doing a 30% discount if you order in advance to collect, because then it's like £2, which is totally worth it.
You also get a buy one. I don't know if you've had one through the post. I got a buy one get one free.
I have not had
Which is what started it off. Yeah, Ash got a buy one get one free poster through, so she was like, "Oh, look at the festive stuff," and I was like, "Ooh." So then when we were out shopping, I was like, "Yeah, we'll have that with the 30% off." And I was like, "That's even better." And now I'm like, "Yeah, I'll just have another one with the 30% off mobile app offer while it lasts. That'll be good." So I've been scrolling that down like I don't know what, and then going through all the supermarkets, going, "Now it's Christmas time officially. Can I have all the pigs in blanket things?" So I'm just been on my usual collection of what can I get that's piggy.
It always happens.
It makes you wonder. Like I've been a vegetarian now for a bit over a year, and pigs in blankets, I enjoyed them. They weren't ever like a thing I was crazy about, but they were nice. But
Dave, we should have asked these questions before you joined.
Hey,
I see where this conversation is heading, and I'm waiting for Reg to fire.
No, I don't want to take away your enjoyment whatsoever. I did enjoy a pig in blanket back when I ate meat. What I'm wondering more than anything is your opinion on it is not. You're not alone. There's a lot of people I know who go nuts for pigs in blankets around this time of year. And I just wonder, considering it's a little sausage wrapped in bacon, why is it not more prevalent all year round? People are nuts for them. And it's not like it's specifically Christmas. It's a sausage and it's bacon. Both things which exist all year round. So why not?
But you can buy them all year round, and they are available in supermarkets all year round. But it's that thing where it's not Christmas. So
they're definitely
Christmas
more common
time
once
is
it gets towards Christmas.
Overindulge in everything, like Asda do all year round. Pig and blanket patches and pig and blanket sausage rolls, which pig and blanket sausage rolls are chef kiss beautiful. But I'd never enjoy a pig and blanket as much as what I do when it hits like tail end of November, beginning of December, and then all of a sudden my brain just goes, "You can have them all." I'm like, I must have them all. So then I go and it's like all the crisps, like, oh my god! So Walkers have started doing Greg's sausage roll flavoured crisps.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried them?
No.
So Ash bought me some as like a surprise. And I was like, ooh. And I genuinely was like, you know what? This is just going to literally taste of smoky bacon. That's every single time Walkers do it. Oh, we're going to do a funny flavoured, like, pork variety crisp. It always tastes like smoky bacon.
The katsu curry Walkers they did over the last couple of months just tasted like sort of a slight curry flavour with their roast chicken. Like really overpowering it. So yeah, I'd see what you mean. It's always based on another flavour.
Yeah. However, these taste like Greg's sausage rolls.
Oh.
It's really weird, and I can't get my head around how they've done it. But you can taste the pastry, and then you can actually taste the sausage inside it.
It's interesting.
So it's very peculiar how they've done it, and it's amazing. And I don't know anyone else who's tried them. And I'm like, please don't tell me I'm going crazy. Like, I've got the packet here in front of me, and I know they exist. But I'm like, does anyone else know they exist? Has Ash made them especially for me? Like, what's happening? But they are absolutely divine.
It's strange how there's some foods that seem to just have this association with Christmas, even though there is no other. There's no reason why it has to be Christmas themed. Why, like you're saying, white pigs in blanket. It's like having cabbage cream eggs and how they sort of, okay, they're Easter only, but they now do them all year round. But they just go, let's make them Halloween themed, or let's put them in a chocolate bar instead. So you can always get your fix. But once that time of year comes round, it's pigs and blankets everywhere.
Yeah. It is weird, isn't it? It's like everyone starts selling out Cadbury's cream eggs in supermarkets towards Easter, and you're like, they've been here all year round. Why are you fucking so obsessed?
Yeah, it's like why is over in Japan how KFC is this huge deal at Christmas, and it's all just because of adverts. Years and years and years ago, there was this really big advertising campaign where they pushed KFC as being a Christmas thing, and now everyone has it at Christmas. And there's one over here that I don't get. Like, I used to drink a lot of Pepsi Max, and I'm all for Pepsi Max. But one thing I hate is the advert where they're like, start a new Christmas tradition this year, drink Pepsi Max. Like, why are they trying to make it a Christmas thing? And who are they fooling?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a weird one when that sort of stuff hits, because just like, why?
I don't understand the marketing department sat around going, right, let's get this Christmas market. Is it against the Coke thing because the Coke truck maybe?
Maybe it's because they think people are like treating themselves at Christmas.
Oh, I'll
and,
treat
they'll
myself
spend
to a
extra
bottle
money
of
on a soft drink.
£1.50 2-litre fizzy drink. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you get hooked on it, Dan, and like you said, you used to be crazy about it. So there you go.
Absolutely. And I only realised that the only thing that's pushed me to stop is because I found that I don't think I should have caffeine. It really, really interferes with my sleep. And then I realised whenever I drink a 1.5 litre bottle of Pepsi Max in a day, I just can't sleep. So I just stopped. I've gone cold turkey.
That's brave. That's a bold move.
Terrible.
It does make sense. I'm, however, addicted to Monster and Rockstar.
Oh yeah, you got to steer clear of that stuff.
I can't.
The only time I will partake in that is when we go to. They help you sleep.
Yeah, say it's the same as coffee. I always have a coffee before bed because it makes me sleepy.
That's crazy. I'm totally the opposite. But the only time I will have Monster is when we go to EGX and they're giving it away for free, and then I will happily drink it because it's totally free.
That's true. Can't argue with free energy drinks. No, Monster Ripper. I used to have a can of that every day because it's like, oh, it's got vitamins and juice, and therefore it's not just sugar and caffeine, which it totally is. I wanted to go back, if I could, real quick to the talk of video games, because I think I mentioned on this podcast a few weeks ago that I sent my Xbox away to be repaired.
Yes. I thought it was going to be a Mass Effect story going, I might have mentioned I like Mass Effect. Well, here's another hour special.
No, right. for a change, Reg, I'm not going to bring Mass Effect back up.
I've got a story about The Office to talk about later as well, if you don't mind.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm
kidding.
Well, there is, because it's on Netflix. Is that right?
Oh, okay. No, so Steve can watch it again for the 19th time. No, so I sent my Xbox away, and all is well. I got an email saying they'd received it, and I was like, cool, happy days. And then I got a message back saying that they were sending it back. I was like 3 days later. They received it on the 25th, sorry. And I got an email on the 28th saying, we've dispatched, so it's on its way back to you. But they've not said what's happened. So all I know is that UPS have a 5-kilogram box from Microsoft that's coming back to my house. And I have no idea if they fixed it, if they've replaced it, if they've said, fuck you, nothing wrong with it, go away. Like, no indication whatsoever. I just know that there's a box coming to my house. And that's it. And I'm like...
That's so bizarre.
And I wonder, are they going to... Is it going to be like... In the box, there's going to be like a notification of what they've done, or are they just going to send me something and I'll have to figure it out? Because I sent them an Xbox, it definitely was faulty. I don't know whether they've done something, so it's like I just want to know, because I'm now getting the itch that I would like to play on my console, and I do not have it. So I don't know what I'm getting back in a box from Microsoft.
Could you imagine if like a Series X just comes out of your box? You're like,
Reg, don't tease me. Could you imagine, like...
But would you be angry that you hadn't had the chance to transfer over all your save files to be like,
you know what?
Want to complain, Microsoft, but...
I would start from scratch, buddy. I would happily start from scratch. Okay. Yeah. Because Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out, and I've said before about how I used to play the role-playing game. I'm a big fan of that world, so I'm looking forward to it. I actually hadn't watched any of the videos or anything about it. I'd avoided all of that. Don't know why. It's not usually like a thing that I do. I usually consume all of the trailers and all of the videos. But this time I thought, no, I won't. I'll just wait until it comes out and then I'll try and play it. And I finally did watch one of the videos for it recently with Keanu Reeves doing his bits and stuff, and it just looks so fucking cool. Like, it looks so good. So very excited.
It really, really does. And there was a guy streaming it on. I think
you mentioned
last week, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks glorious. And I've been watching like IGN's like final preview of like Cyberpunk 2077. And I don't know why I'm doing it to myself, because like this laptop isn't powerful enough to fully appreciate Cyberpunk 2077, whereas like, you know, a PS5 or an Xbox Series X and stuff would be. So I won't get to play it for like a very long while, but I'm genuinely like so excited to get my hands on it. It just looks glorious.
Having been sort of neck deep in Mass Effect Andromeda for the last 2 weeks, and I don't think I've played a game this much in months, if not years. Once I'm finished that, I feel like I've got the RPG bug, and Cyberpunk seems like a really good option. Although I don't know how well it's going to play on just a standard PS4. Everything I've seen seems to be, here's a PS4 Pro and look how good it looks.
Yeah, because they always do, don't they? Because Sony will never want you to go to an original PlayStation 4 now, because they don't make as much money on it. So they want you to, if you're going to have to play it on a PS4, play it on the Pro, because like, oh look, it's so shiny, you can do all this resolution, this is the best thing ever. It'll still look fine and stunning on the original PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and it's got to play, hasn't it? Let's face it, it's not.
It'll play near enough identical. It might just be a little bit slow at like frame rate not as high, but it'll play absolutely identical, and it'll still be an absolutely beautiful looking game to play. I mean, look how good like the Witcher 3 is from the same studio. Like on the PS4, that still looks stunning, and like The Last of Us 2 on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that's very true.
That looks fucking unreal, and that's just on the bog standard PS4. So Cyberpunk's still going to look really, really nice.
Well, I remember when I first loaded up Fallout 4. At the time, I had an Xbox One S, not to be confused with the Series S, of course. And that was, I fucking hate the naming convention. I hate their naming conventions so much. Jesus Christ. How hard would it have been to call it Xbox 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Anyway, I remember loading up Fallout 4 on that at the time. And I was on an HD TV. It wasn't a 4K TV. And there's a scene in a moment very early on in the game when you leave the vault and you walk out to like a scenic overlook.
Yeah.
And I remember being absolutely blown away by that. Like, it was phenomenal to look at. And that was an HD TV on a technically previous gen console, and it was great. So now I own a 4K TV. If I loaded up a Series X on that and one of the brand new launch titles, I think it would burn my eyes out. I think it would be too much for me to handle. Like, it would be too good, you know?
Well, I definitely can't tell when watching Netflix what shows are 4K and what shows are HD.
Can you not?
No, I think if I really paid attention, I probably could. But if you showed me one episode of one in HD and one in 4K, I'm not entirely sure that I would know the difference.
I think, and it's the same as when The Hobbit did it in the weird, weird
high frame rate.
High frame rate. With 4K, it just looks a bit fake. Like, it's weird. It's the same show, and there's nothing different about it, but because the colours are so vibrant and it looks. It looks just a little bit fake.
It's ultra realism. It's like it's too realistic, so your brain kind of goes, that doesn't seem right, because it's too close to what you would see in real life. It's that weird thing of, it's like the whole Uncanny Valley thing with graphics that are that good. Like, it's too good for your brain to go, oh, I'm watching a screen. Your brain's like, this looks like real life. What the fuck am I looking at? Like, it starts freaking out about it. And that's why, like, when you start using high frame rates and all that kind of stuff, it's just a bit too real. It's just a bit, I've had that before with things when I'm like, ooh, I'll record this video in 60 frames per second in 4K, and I'll watch it back. And I'm like, what am I looking at here? Why is it so sharp? It doesn't need to be like this. This is not what videos are supposed to look like. What am I happening?
You know, it's weird you mentioned The Hobbit though as well. That's just been re-released on 4K. Well, the whole 6 parts of the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, really? The full thing?
Yeah. The extended cut as well. And someone on Twitter that we follow posted like, right, I've just got my copy and look at this. This is the 2 comparison. This is just amazing. I'm enjoying this so much. And looking at the 2 screenshots, one just looked a bit darker than the other one. Like, I get that there's limitations of my phone screen then, but surely, showing off these screenshots, I don't know, you'd pick something that really made a difference, but it looks barely any different. So yeah, I don't know. I'm quite happy. When I had Sky for years, I never bothered paying the extra £10 to get HD, because I was just like, what's the point? I'll just go standard definition. And it's only recently when I've been off for all this time and I sat and watched every episode of 24 on DVD. So that means it was like 640 by 480. That I started to notice the difference and was like, oh, this is really hard to watch.
I'm such a snob when it comes to SD and HD. It's the only thing I care about, like I said, the 4K and 1080p and like the stupid Ultra HD and stuff. Genuinely not that arsed about that bit. But going from like Ash's mum's who's got normal Sky and watching, like the first half of like Emmerdale where we go to pick Oliver up, and then coming home and then watching the second half of it on our TV. I dread when it starts. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch it, and I can't watch it. I'm so snobby when it comes to it, but I'm just like, do you realise how bad this looks? And it's like when Chris came round ours, like her dad, and ours was like, oh my god, your picture's amazing. I was like, this is HD. I was like, it's not the TV, it's just in HD. And I was like, just please get Sky HD, just for that 2 minutes. And around you, I was like,
I can't believe they still charge for it.
Like, I don't think they do anymore now, because I've not seen it on my. I get like the breakdown of how much everything is on on my Sky Q thing, and I don't think they charge for HD anymore. I think
they charge for UHD now, don't they?
Yeah, I was going to say now it's like the next stage, like, oh, we'll give you this for free, just so you think, oh my god, that was an amazing step up. So I'm like, well, what's the next one then? So then you want to get you to pay for the next one, which is
it's amazing that's still an option. Just the idea that you can still get the non-HD channels and stuff, and it's like, what? Like, it's 2020. Like, it's almost 2021.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, even we don't have Sky now, but we've got free sat because we have a satellite dish, so the TV has a satellite tuner. And even on that, there's no 4 HD, there's no 5 HD. There's a good few channels that just haven't done. They're still in standard definition, which just seems bizarre to me.
Yeah, see, I hate, again, the example sake of that sort of stuff, and one which I know make you laugh, but we'll talk about this in a second. So one of the channels that you said, like Channel 5, Ash watches like a load of like the shows on that, and every now and again it will only record it on the normal definition instead of the HD, and I'm like, right, I'll play on the phone because I can't watch it, like, can't do this. And then Total Bellas has started again, Dan.
Of course, brilliant.
So yes, we are very happy about that.
I bet.
So downloaded it, and weirdly the first one was not in HD, but the second one was, and I was like, right, we need to download that again and put that in HD. Can't be excited that Bella's is back, but it not actually being in HD. It needs to be a HD Bella or no Bella at all. I'm sorry, but they are back, and they've got a book out now as well, Dan, which annoyingly I missed the so this season of Total Bellas is all about their pregnancy.
So
the curve and stuff.
Dave, do you know what we're talking about, by the way?
No, I think I've heard of it, but I don't.
It's the Bella twins from WWE.
Yeah, so what happened was, years and years back now, this is when I think we still did the G-Dot pod.
Yeah, it was. It was that long ago.
We used to, like, I can't even remember how it started. I think Ash just went on like a reality show binge where she was just watching anything that had talking face to the camera. She was like, yeah, I'll watch this. And we started watching Total Divas. which was just a reality show like that, but it just follows all the female wrestlers. But the two best ones were the Bella twins, because they were the most entertaining. One was just a pisshead and the other one was just, funny. So they got their own sort of spin-off, Total Bellas. And then we're like, oh, it's almost time, and getting quite excited that Total Bellas is on. Because
sounds like a sort of a Scouse insult, doesn't it? You're a total Bella, you.
It's great though. So, we bought a load of snacks for it, got ourselves primed and ready, made sure Oliver was completely dosed up on Cowpole, so that there was no waking up, and then that was it. Sunday night sorted.
Be careful who's listening, Reg, when you say things like that. Definitely shouldn't use that.
Well, he's not feeling great. He's got like earache and stuff, so that's why he had Cowpole. So
Munchausen syndrome.
Yeah, so there you go. And then we sit down and we watch the Bellas, and I got really excited because they had a book out, and I was like, oh, you can get a signed copy of the book. I was like, Ash would love that for Christmas. So then I randomly, when it first got launched, I was like, oh, have you seen this? They've Bella's got a book, and she was like, yeah, when will I ever read a book? And I was like, maybe like an Audible or something. I was like, okay, and remove from basket. I was like, we won't be buying that one right now. But they also do like a clothing line and stuff, like Birdie Bee it's called. And they've got some really nice like women's clothes and stuff in there, and kids' clothes. Because Birdie is the name of one of the... Lisa, oh yeah, no, yeah, let me do my stuff. She's like, they also do. I'm like, I know, babe, just let me do my story first. Unless I just get her to come on and just tell you all about it. But yeah, so the one of the kids is called Birdie, so that's why they call it Birdie Bee. In terms of that, and the clothes are really nice, and they're quite cheap as well. But the shipping from America to the UK was like triple the price of a fucking the t-shirt I wanted to buy. So I was like, as much as I love you, I'm not willing to spend that much on that. So, but they also apparently they do a alcohol line for wine. They've got their own winery, which is lovely. And they also do hair products, apparently. Ash was saying, I didn't know that bit, so obviously I'm not as much of a Bella Red or whatever they call themselves.
Bella Red sounds right.
Oh, that's Bella Ed.
Bella Red. But on some more, obviously, macho, manly stuff, or nothing like that. Have you seen the trailer for the fucking Super Nintendo World theme park?
That was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Yes, I only saw that about an hour ago.
Oh my days!
Holy cow!
You know what? It took me.
I assumed that it was like a CG image.
Yes, this is what I was just going to say.
Like,
Going back to what we were saying before about how it, like Uncanny Valley and stuff, and just like how sometimes stuff seems so realistic. I was like, damn, that looks so shit. That's real. Is that actually? And I had to rewatch it again. I was like, oh my god.
Even the first time it shows like the logo of the world, and it pans up. I was like, oh, this is just that CGI recreation of it again. I was like, no, hang on, this is the real thing, and it looks like the game. It absolutely looks like the game. It's incredible.
Yeah, honestly, I can't wait for them to open up the doors, skip a few years so Oliver can be old enough to warrant the travel over to Japan for the time on the plane.
Well, it'll be in Florida by then. Epic Universe will have opened.
No, I hope so. I'm so excited to see it. Like Bowser's Castle just looks phenomenal. Like the big massive Bowser statue, the go-karts look, everything about it just looks absolutely surreally good. That's just, yeah. Have you seen like all the trophies for the different cups and stuff you've got as well, like all scattered throughout it, and you've got the Universal Cup at the end. It's just, it looks so good.
So for like 4 days without it.
Oh shit! Hang on a second. Ash has just said we could go for a maximum of 4 days without him to Florida, Japan. To Japan, like sound right? Me and Ash going to Japan.
Fair enough.
I'm all about going to Super Mario World. It just looks amazing. 4 days.
Well, you can't go to at least April.
I'm now erect.
You're not. Don't get excited.
Eh?
Don't get excited.
She's like, don't get excited, please, because I'm like, it's too late.
And then that 4 days,
and Ash
2.5
taketh
of that
away.
will be traveling. So
I know, but by the time I can afford it, it will be April. So bye-bye PS5.
So there's two rides there, isn't there? There's Yoshi, where it's like just a standard little car ride, really, but loads of animatronics and stuff, and you ride on the back of a Yoshi. And then there's the Mario Kart ride. But there's also, you pay about £30 and you get a wristband, and as you go around it's like the magic wands and things you can get at the Harry Potter World, and what's the thing you can get at Walt Disney World now in Magic Kingdom?
The magic bands that you get to do all the games and stuff with.
I think it must be that the thing Sean was talking about, where you can go around and play games as you go around.
The little cards and stuff. Yeah, so cool.
So that wristband, you pay that £30, and it's the same idea. You go around the world, you can collect coins, and you've got to beat certain characters, and then you get to the boss battle at the end, and it all interacts with your phone and stuff. And it sounds awesome. Same as £30, but it does sound good.
It's one of those things that you're on holiday, so you don't really care. Like when you come back, you're like, that was a bit of a waste, but the stories are amazing from it. But when you're there,
did you, when you were at Disney, did you get those the ears that flash with the show, glow with the show?
We didn't go to a show that had them.
Okay.
So we did quite a lot of them, but they didn't have that specific thing. The only nighttime proper one we went to was the one next to the water. Phantasmic, yeah. That was the only nighttime proper show one we went to. The rest was like the parades and stuff at night.
Well, with those ears, obviously, it basically depends on where you're standing in the crowd. If you've got the ears on, they'll flash different colours, so they actually form part of the show, which sounds amazing. But if you're buying the ears, you're not seeing any of that because you're in the place where they're flashing. So the people who don't pay, they're the ones that really get the show. Because if you stand at the back, you get to see all the ears flashing, and you don't have to pay $30 to do it. It seems backwards, but I don't know.
I was going to say, it's one of those things, though, isn't it? Like Disney have them fans where they're like, "Yep, we will be having them."
It's the same way that people will pay crazy money for. Yeah, when you're there, you go to a theme park that with a set budget of, I'm going to spend this money. Like, this money is not coming home with me. I'm just going to spend it on stuff. And depending on where you go, that's usually either food or merchandise, right? So it's like, you might be there like, $30 for this. I'm going to get that. I don't care if I don't get the same experience. I'm going to have it because I want to have that thing. In the same way that I would easily drop a chunk of money to buy a lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge.
I feel like you'd budget for that, though, right? If you were going there, you'd be like, "I'm doing this."
Oh yeah. It's on my list of, if I'm there, I'm 100% doing that. So
they are amazing. I think I've talked about this with you anyway, haven't I? About Mike, who Mike did it. The guy I work with, he went in January, just before like lockdown and stuff.
Yeah.
And he went specifically to go to see Galaxy's Edge because they went to Florida last year as well. And he said, "We're never going back." And I was just like, "You need to go do Disney," and basically bullied them into going to Disney for their next holiday, just so we could talk about it. And then they were like, "Fine, we give in, we're going." So they went, and he was like, "Honestly, dude," he was like, "Galaxy's Edge is by far like the best thing ever," because he's a huge Star Wars fan. And he was like, the place where you create your lightsaber and the way you get shunted in the story and whatnot, and like different variations of the creation of it all. And then he went back to take a photo at nighttime in front of the Millennium Falcon with his lightsaber. And one of the photo pass, one of the rebels, as they call it, but it was a photo pass person, clocked him and was like, "Come with me." And he was like, "What?" So he followed this guy, and he got his own very personal tour all around, even like the backstage parts of it. And they were doing photo shoots of him like using the lightsaber to go down a door, to open up the door with it all. So it's like cutting through the door. He had photos of that inside, like the Millennium Falcon stuff. He just got so many photos of it all. And he was like,
That's cool.
And it was just because it was the right place at the right time. And I was like, damn.
Well, just a sidebar, I was in Florida 3 years ago with my friend Dan, and we went to Universal, and we were told by someone that you could go to while going into the Men in Black ride,
yes,
you could ask to have a tour of the actual facility. You know what I mean? And
because you queue above the control room, don't you? The one you see in the film.
Yeah.
So you have all the desks in the screen with all the aliens running the desks, and yeah, you can tour around the lower area.
And honestly, they let us down there, and it was very much like, on the sly, like, all right, come on down. And we got to walk down and walk around all the way it's all themed and stuff, and it is so cool, so very cool. If you get those little tiny Easter egg things where like people just don't all know about it. But interesting about Galaxy's Edge, someone was telling me. So in Galaxy's Edge, there's one of the parts has a big full size X-wing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, they, and again, I'm going to be really embarrassed if we spoke about this in the podcast a few weeks ago. I don't think we did. I'm sure it was somebody else who told me this. In filming season 1 of The Mandalorian, they had to film a scene inside an X-wing. But while they were filming, they didn't actually have an X-wing on set. So what they did was, while they were shipping that one to Galaxy's Edge, they basically borrowed it on the way, shipped it to this soundstage where they were filming, filmed their scenes in the cockpit of that X-wing, and then sent it on to Florida, onto Disney World.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So the one that you see there in Galaxy's Edge is actually the one that was in season 1 of The Mandalorian.
Have you seen the way that they're doing the sort of the effects in The Mandalorian?
Yes.
How it's
so cool.
Yeah, it's insane. It's just like, no green screens. Let's just have a ridiculously high definition, all surrounding screen, and that's what we'll use. It's amazing. Yeah. It's absolutely amazing. So everything is pre-rendered and just shown behind the characters.
Yeah.
So,
such a cool thing.
Yeah, it's only when you accidentally get some guy in his jeans in shot that you've got to digitally remove it and re-release the episode.
The problem with that one is that, in the same way when it happened to Game of Thrones with that Starbucks cup, like, I didn't notice it because I'm watching the characters. I'm not looking in the background for things that stand out. And that's, I don't mean to say that to sound like a snob. Like, I'm not looking for other stuff. So when I see that shared, I'm like, oh man, like, I didn't see that. I don't care about that. It's annoying. now I can't not see it.
They've re-uploaded the episode, and it now doesn't have Gene's guy in.
I love that. I love that in the age of streaming, a company can just do that and be like, oh, it never existed. See you later.
Crazy, isn't it, really?
Have you guys been watching Mandalorian?
No, but this is one of the things I wanted to mention, speaking of Disney Plus. So some kind soul let me have their login last week. I won't say who, because, I don't want Disney to come after them. But
it's fine, it was me.
Fair enough.
Mouse Mafia's coming your way.
I wasn't sure how much stuff there was going to be that I would want to watch. I was just like, I don't know, if it's all Disney and it's all Fox and stuff, I don't often get in the mood that I want to sit and watch a Disney film or anything like that. But going through it, I was just blown away by how much good stuff is on there. I was like, oh, I need to watch that. My list of stuff to watch is probably twice as long as my Netflix queue. But do you know how Netflix, you'll never get to the end of Netflix. You'll never complete Netflix because there's just millions of shows and you can never find them. There's no real easy way to just look through a list of everything they've got, right? But Disney Plus, you can go through A to Z because they haven't got that much in comparison. So you can actually go through the entire list. And I did that. I went from start to it only took about 10 minutes to go through and go, yeah, I'll watch that. Yeah, I'll save that. And I really appreciated that because it was like, right, I haven't got to just, I'm not going to miss out on something because I know for a fact I've seen everything there.
Yes, you can complete Disney Plus.
Well, if I really want to, I know what I want to watch now. I know what they've got, and I'm not going to have to worry about missing out on something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's absolute quality. I mean, even the fact that they've got Darkwing Duck on there, I can't wait to get a bit of nostalgic feels. I'll sit and watch all 67 episodes of season 1 of Darkwing Duck.
I love Darkwing Duck.
I was like, one season only. Oh, it's okay. There's 67 episodes. That's fine.
Yeah, it is good.
Mandalorian, though, is something where
I'll watch that at some point.
It is really good. It's it's genuinely really good storytelling.
Someone who doesn't watch Star Wars, so basically Shell has watched episodes 4 and 5, and we need to get back in and carry on.
She's not even watched the best one.
No. She's not watched anything more. Actually, we've watched Rogue One, we've watched New Hope, and we've watched Empire Strikes Back.
But Return of the Jedi is the best one with the Ewoks.
I know. She's going to love the Ewoks. I know it. I know for a fact she's going to absolutely love the Ewoks.
I fucking love the. I was so just slightly, but keeping with the same topic.
Yeah.
I was going through Shop Disney, because me and Ash wanted the Tinkerbell tree topper, which the Disney store were doing, and I was like, just wait till Monday when I get paid and I'll buy it. And she's like, no, it's fine. I was like, no, let me grab this. I'll grab it on Monday and it's fine, don't worry. I paid because it was like 30 quid. And then it hit today and I was like, woke up this morning, I was like, morning, let's buy, out of stock. Oh, shit. So at the minute we haven't got a tree topper, and I'm scrolling like eBay and everywhere trying to find this fucking tree topper. And then I was like, as I was going through, I was like, oh, Cyber Monday deals, while I was queued up from a Costa. And I was like, what have they got? And you've got like the Buzz outfit for Oliver, and I was like, nah. Do I? No. Ooh, the Woody outfit. Get that. Ewok outfit. Buy. And I was literally like in the on the next page, ready to purchase, and it was like, the size you ordered is out of stock, and I'm like, I was like, you know what? Then I'll go 3 to 4 instead of 2 to 3. Out of stock. They've only got under his age now instead of over it, when usually they have over, and I'm like, no.
Well, have another one, Reg.
Gutted. No. It's the easy answer.
I would say though, quickly on the Mandalorian, like if Shell's watched that much, realistically, that's probably enough. Like, you don't, if it's a thing where it's basically a Akira Kurosawa style spaghetti western in Star Wars, and if you can get behind that, the idea of a sort of lone gunfighter going from place to place, righting wrongs and doing that kind of stuff, if you can get behind that, then you can enjoy this show.
Yeah. Is it a little bit episodic? I mean, I know there's obviously the ongoing arcs, but is it, good enough that you could sit and enjoy an episode and move on?
No, because there's a lot of standalone stories within the sort of wider thing. Yeah,
because there's no way of avoiding spoilers from this program. So I feel like I need to watch it and get up to date so I can then not have things spoiled.
Well, in all fairness, I'm only on episode 5 of 4 of season 1, and I've done all right with avoiding everything apart from obviously the Yoda thing. Apart from that, I've managed to avoid everything. Been doing quite well with this. This is the only show so far that I've managed to get away with, even though we're pod. Whereas everything else has been completely spoiled for me. That we're like, oh yeah, I've started watching this. It's like, I might be a week behind. I'm like, yeah, but we need to talk about it. Go on then. So yeah, with this, I've done all right with it, and it is. Like, I forgot how much I really enjoyed it up until Ash took Oliver swimming. Yesterday, seeing only one of us allowed in there, I sat in the car for a bit, did a little bit of shopping and whatnot, then sat back in the car and I was like, you know what? Since I've now got Disney Plus myself, I'm like everything I need to be. I'll sit and watch part of The Mandalorian. And I watched the episode, Dave, where he helps out another young gunslinger.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this is a fucking good episode. And this just made me go like, yeah, I really forgot how fucking good this show is. And as someone who likes Star Wars but isn't like oh my god, the new Star Wars thing, like, I fucking really got into it. So I was like, yeah, I need to watch this on the big screen. So now there's not really a great deal on, I could be like, hey Ash, do you want to start this?
It really is. It is the kind of thing where it's enough on its own where you can really enjoy it. You can watch an episode and go, that was a really enjoyable episode. Especially, I mean, season 2 is a different kind of beast because it's set up a lot more, so there's kind of higher stakes and whatnot. But in the first season, you can just watch an episode and be like, that's awesome. Like, what's happened there is an awesome thing. I really enjoy parts of it. So, yeah, I would say definitely give it a go.
Okay, sold.
Excellent. Well, that's what we like to hear. So yeah, I'm going to be doing it now as well. Now we're talking about it again, I will be like, ooh. Oh, and also I've just had to get Amazon Prime, so I might start The Boys.
See, I envy you with that. You've got a good 2 solid seasons of quality programming that you can just sit and watch now.
I haven't watched season 2 of The Boys yet. I watched season 1, loved it. Not watched season 2 yet.
Oh, it's brilliant. As good as season 1, easily.
I think I got worried because I remember just how dark the first season was.
Oh yeah,
I was
mean, it's the sort of show where you know that they will only up that darkness.
Yeah.
We don't want to rest in their laurels.
Nice.
Did you ever watch all of Preacher, Reg?
I can do that as well.
Yeah,
I
because
season 1 of Preacher.
Because that's really nice, sort of 4 seasons and wrapped up and done.
Yeah, it's hard for me to watch shows now. That's the only thing, because obviously, like on the nights where we're not on the nights we pod, I literally finish this pod, do the dishes, sit down on a broom, go to bed, and then the nights we're not podding is the night where I can be like, I'll just play WoW for a bit, or by the time we get older to bed, it's like 8:30. So I'm like, right, you watch your Riverdale and stuff, and then we've got enough chance to watch like one show before bed, like an hour's worth of tally. So it's like, what do we both want to watch? So if there's something I'm dying to watch, I need to not be busy at work, so I can be like, right, I can have a dinner hour now and actually just watch a show. But I can't see that happening for the next 18 months now, thanks to fucking Hawaii. So, yeah, I'm just... the boys will be there at some point. And I'm sure the Mandalorian will be too. And at some point I will get there.
And I'll be honest, I've been quite impressed how few spoilers I have seen for the Mandalorian. Like, considering some of the things that have come out, some of the reveals and stuff and whatever else, I haven't really, I don't know whether it's a case of being selective about who I follow on social media, but I haven't really seen massive spoilers, really. A couple little ones that I wouldn't consider big, others might, but it's I don't know, it's a weird one. He seems to have just avoided it. Same with The Boys to an extent. I've seen a couple things from The Boys, but not really anything to spoil season 2 for me. So that's interesting.
No, I feel like that's on a different scale. I don't know. It's more with Mandalorian. They seem to be really going for, bringing in characters that people know or teasing things that people are familiar with from the lore. And that's the stuff I've had spoiled. Although there's a couple of them, like the big one that's supposedly from this week that I won't mention, I don't really care or know about because I haven't watched something else.
Yeah. And that one, the problem is rumors, right? So rumors will report on this stuff months back. And it's like, this person's going to be in the show and they're supposedly playing this character. Yeah. And it's like, you can pretty much guess at most of those leaks and spoilers that they're probably true. Like, a lot of the time, as much as you don't want them to be, oftentimes when someone comes out 3 months ago and says, this person's playing this character, you can kind of go like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Because someone's either seen the person or someone else has shared something and you're like, okay. But realistically, I think that knowing that a character is going to show up isn't really, to me anyway, like knowing they're going to be in the show at some point, it's like, fair play. Like, that's cool. They'll show up. How they reveal that character, or how they use them in the setting, I think that's more exciting anyway.
Yeah,
like a big
absolutely.
Reveal, but that's me.
I see that. So I feel like it's getting very close to having something big ruined for me. At some point it's going to happen, so I just need to get up to date with it, really.
Just spend tomorrow doing it. It's fine. There's only 20 hours or something you're going to need to watch.
Yeah, I know, but I need to go and raid the Archon ship in Mass Effect Andromeda. So got a couple of loyalty missions I need to get under my belt, Reg. I'm sorry.
Priorities, Reg. Priorities.
Yeah. In all fairness, like I can't say anything because all I'm doing at the minute, instead of like helping out Oliver, is playing well. So, as much as I'd love to help feed our son, at some point, who's going to raid Ice Crown Citadel?
Exactly. No one.
It's one of them, innit? But no. I do feed my son, don't worry. If anyone's listening, I don't leave everything to Ash. I try to be as much hands-on as I can. And then I treat myself. Just smiting all the horde.
So what advent calendars have you guys got all ready to go for tomorrow? / yesterday when this comes out.
Oh, fuck, I haven't got one yet, actually.
What?
Yeah, I forgot.
I've
one
got
for B.
2.
Really?
Show off.
I've got, I you know what, and these aren't even anything from the family. I've got one from one of the umbrella companies that we use in work, which is like something to help people pay stuff. They give me a Lindt chocolate one, which is amazing. And then the conversion committee have passed me an advent calendar as well, Dairy Milk one. So I've got 2.
You didn't even have to buy your own.
No, which is good.
Well, I was in The Entertainer a few weeks ago, and I saw the Back to the Future one, the Playmobil Back to the Future advent calendar, and it looks amazing. The figures look awesome, and you get this whole setup of the clock tower and stuff, and loads of accessories, and it was reduced to £15, and I was like, that's pretty reasonable. And I agonised for a good sort of. I carried on walking around town looking, and I was like, should I go and get it? Really want it, but we've got an advent. Like me and Shell have an advent calendar that is it's like you fill it yourself. It's like a big wooden cool thing, and I take 12 days. She takes 12 days or whatever. So I was like, but we've got that. She'll hate me if I get another advent calendar. I know, I'll buy it for my dad. So I've given my dad that as an early Christmas present. He's going to open that tomorrow, which will be yesterday when this pod comes out. So I don't mind talking about it. But it just looks amazing.
It really does. I'm looking at it now. It looks awesome, to be fair. But yeah, there's a couple that they had, and like I love the Lego Star Wars one and stuff that they do. There's just every year I'm like, I want to get one of these. But we were going to get, there's another Playmobil one. I think it's like a city, or it's like the police one or register service or something like that. Because we looked at it for Oliver and we were like, oh, you know what? Instead of getting like the Milky Bar one or something, this would be fun because you'll have a new toy bit every day. And then we thought, actually no, because if you get one where it's literally just like a helmet or like
because it is like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
it would be like things and then
what? So we're like, right, okay, we can't obviously do this yet, so we'll wait until he's a bit old enough to register that, you know, something cool's going to happen the next day. So he's just going to have like a Milky Bar one or something instead.
Fair enough.
So, but yeah, I'm very excited. I massively got the Christmas bug after putting up all the Christmas decks and stuff. So I'm very excited for it now. Well, it's going to be a very weird one, isn't it? Really, because we're not going to be able to do like the Christmas Eve tradition and stuff. So it's
true. I have been discussing that with Nina Myers, and we have a couple of ideas. So I'll be in touch. Not when we're not podding.
Right. Okay. Fair enough then. I like the sound of that.
Yeah. So on this week, I was sort of, I kind of had nothing to do. I think I can't remember what I was doing, but I was sat on my phone on YouTube, probably sat on the toilet. You know what it's like. And I started just going through YouTube videos and going through recommendations and stuff I'm not subscribed to. And I came across this guy who's got a channel where he sort of he does like mini documentaries, and he investigates like weird things about video games, and he's obsessed with Super Monkey Ball in particular. Who's opening an advent calendar?
No one.
I just hear loads of rustling.
If it was the rustling, it was me trying to get my mouse charging cable.
That'll be it.
And there was a secret packet of Dolly Mix.
Oh.
Which was.
There we go then.
So damn, I've been foiled.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a Terry's chocolate orange muffin and Dolly Mix.
There you go.
It's only an hour podcast.
Yeah. So this guy's obsessed with Super Monkey Ball, and he's got about 4 documentaries about different things about Super Monkey Ball, about like the decline in quality in their games over the years, to one in particular which was supposedly solving Super Monkey Ball's biggest ever mystery, which was in the original Super Monkey Ball, you know, the announcer who all the way through sort of goes, "Go! Oh no!" and that sort of stuff. Victory! He was never credited in the game. Okay? You could sit and watch all the credits, all the voice cast were there, you know, II and Pogo and everyone, but there was never a voice actor credited for the announcer. And the internet has been investigating this for 20 years, and no one has a clue. So this guy was like, right, I am going to set out and I'm going to find out. And he flew all the way over to Japan so he could track down a bunch of basically Americans, or there was a couple of Brits who live in Japan who make a living from doing English voice acting works for video games and for TV and stuff like that. And he went and had an interview with this guy who did one of the voices, and he was like, it sounds a bit like you. I think it might be you. And the guy listens to him and goes, no, it's not me. It's not me. It could be this guy, could be that guy. And he goes, do you know what you need to do? On the internet, there is a resource for every single foreigner in Japan doing English voiceover work for video games.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, well, how have I not found this? And he goes, right, so you need to go to a website called IMDb. And he's like, oh, of course. And he's like, no, specifically go to the full cast and crew of Shenmue from 1999. And because basically that was such a huge production back in 1999, that every single English-speaking voiceover artist that was living in Japan got called in by Sega to do voices, because there were just so many characters. They wanted voices, and everyone, they wanted a different one. So he said, go through that list, and one of those people, I guarantee you, because Super Monkey Ball was around the same time, a little bit after that.
Yeah.
I guarantee that Sega would have called on one of those guys.
Oh my god!
And and that is how we solved the mystery, this 20-year-old mystery, by looking at by getting in touch with a few people, but looking at the Shenmue cast and crew.
God bless Shenmue.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, that's another reason why it's the greatest thing that's ever been
Exactly. I
invented.
thought you'd appreciate that, Reg.
But who was it from Shenmue? Do you have the answer?
It was a guy called. Hold on, where is
Who
he?
played Sailor Number 4?
Right, let me bring it up. IMDb Shenmue. It's really weird. He went to speak to one guy. Who the bizarre thing is, as soon as I heard this guy's voice, I knew him from a million video games. And he's listening to me. He's like, I don't know. It could be Matt. I know it could be this other guy. And he mentioned this Matt guy, and then moved on. He said, I can't remember his other name. And then he ended up getting in touch with someone else, and he was talking to this other guy, and he was like, I don't know, that sounds a bit like Brian. It could be Brian. And then eventually, when he got down to it, turned out it was a guy called Brian Matt. So the first guy had told him his surname but couldn't remember his first name. The second guy told him his first name but couldn't remember his surname. And yeah, Brian Matt. And in Shenmue, let me find him. Full cast. It was probably some little side character. It was probably no one. He plays a guy called Wang Guangji. It must have been just a little side character. I'm going to put that into Google. Okay, it's a trophy. Oh, he's the guy. He's the delivery guy. You know, the one that you buy a drink for because he's staring thirstily at the vending machine. He's just staring at the vending machine, and you go over to him and you go, "You okay?" And he's like, "Just really thirsty, but I've got no money." Yeah. So you buy him a drink.
And then you go the same time a couple of days later, and he's there again going, "Oh, I'm like,
so thirsty."
And his brother's in Shenmue 2, and he's like, "Oh, you helped my brother out, I believe in." It's like a small world.
That's it.
So,
amazing.
Yes.
So that was him.
I like how he went from probably some boring side character to you both knowing exactly where he was in the game and what he does.
It was something I was looking through recently. Like, I think I was checking a couple of voice actors from Mass Effect to see if they were in anything else, and they were like, they played this main character, but they also did this character and this character and this character and this character. So, but in Shenmue, you go through that list here on IMDb. There's very, very few that have got more than one voice, more than one character they did. So it just showed how many people they must have got in to do it. It's insane. Yeah.
Like, I knew that, but I didn't know that. Like, I love that story of just trying to figure out who it was. And he's like, right, cool, I'm going to hunt it down. It's like proper Dave Gorman. Sort of
this is exactly it.
He goes around and does it all.
They're very...
That noise.
Yeah, it's back again.
No, Ashley's pouring the bowl of cheese.
Right next to the microphone.
On the microphone, pouring them directly onto the microphone.
Yeah. Well, this guy, just to wrap this up, his documentaries are overly long. Like, he spends a lot of time. It's very much like, I don't know, like American TV, where he just labours on a point where it's just like, but then what could have happened? Could this have happened? And then that, and then we moved on to that. The truth will shock you, and then he'll move on and just tell you it. But the one that kind of drew me in at first, it was about apparently a McDonald's Nintendo DS game. This video came out a week ago and it's got like 2.8 million views. And apparently, back in when the original DS came out, McDonald's in Japan made a training game. They spent millions of dollars developing this game where they would give to their staff, and their staff would learn like what were the ingredients of a Big Mac and how to clean their station, how to salt the fries, everything. And there were only about, I don't know, maybe about 100 of these made. And a bunch of the branches got sent a DS with an M on, or like an embossed McDonald's logo, and this game. And there's a couple of these that have been found around and sold on to people, but there's a code that you need and a password, and no one's known the password. So he went on this massive hunt to try and track down an original McDonald's DS with the game and the passcode, and he eventually manages to get it, and it's fascinating. I mean, this thing is 49 minutes long. I was on the fast forward button for most of it, but just if that was 49 minutes long. Well, no, this is just it. I didn't watch it all. There was a lot of skipping because it was just an awful lot of, and then what happened, and then could this possibly have been the next thing? And I put a bid on eBay, and I was waiting, and it was just, it goes on a lot. But the overall story, I was just like, this is fascinating. And and eventually he gets it, and he even goes into this because apparently it's really hard now to get screen recording 3DSs. Apparently the stock of those has dried up. Some guy who was one of the big makers of these, like, hackers of DS consoles, he's retired and said he's not doing them anymore. So it's really hard to get hold of a DS that you can actually screen record off. So about 20 minutes of this documentary was him tracking this guy down and convincing him to give him another DS that he could screen record so he could play this game eventually. And he actually got someone as well to hack the ROM, so he's ripped it from dumped it or whatever they called it, and released it on the internet so anyone can now play this McDonald's game. I was curious. I was thinking I might get a DS emulator for my Mac and download it, and might be an interesting video to put up on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be fun.
I could just about read my way through it. There's a bit of complicated Japanese, but I can just about get enough of it, I think. So might be interesting. Anyway,
you too can make the perfect Big Mac.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Have you seen the controversy that their festive menu had brought? Well, two things.
See, this is another thing. This is a festive menu where the burgers are barely festive.
Yeah, and the triple Big Mac has one slice of cheese.
What?
Yeah.
How dare they?
Just one slice of cheese and hardly any sauce. So apparently it's dry as balls. Which everyone's kicking off about. And apparently, hopefully, McDonald's might change it, but they reckon that they perfectly balanced it. Which the worst thing is, they came back and said that, to which now everyone's like, fuck you, you didn't. And kicking off. And then the second thing is their jerk chicken.
Yeah, they do that every year. It makes no sense.
And it's not jerk either, because apparently the chili that they use is the incorrect chili. So now they get, like, people are calling them like racist and stuff because they're not using the correct thing, and they're saying that all chili is the same chili, and it doesn't actually come from where it originates from. It's like a Mexican one and not a Caribbean chili that they use. It's like a habanero instead of
all chili just looks what it was, you know.
So people are kicking off about that. So that's both their festive burgers are now just getting slammed.
Wow.
Massively, which is just crazy. So I don't think
that's fine. I haven't been to McDonald's in about 5 months, so I think I'm gonna be okay with that.
See, I go once a week. Like I don't have it personally, but Oliver has a Happy Meal every Wednesday as a treat from nursery.
Okay.
So, and I'm good. I always make sure we have something nice instead.
Fair enough.
So, That's my tweet. Anyway, more importantly, have you seen? I know we're probably well over time, but I do just want to discuss.
We're just at time, so we're okay.
Nice. Yeah, Doom Eternal's finally got its Nintendo Switch announcement, so I can now play Doom Eternal.
Yes.
Which is making me a happy chappy. So that comes out next week.
It's not getting a physical release, right?
Nope, just digital only.
Yeah.
So it's going to take up 18.8 gig of storage.
That's not bad.
You think, which is great.
Yeah, that's considering, we're talking about 200 gig for an install of a PlayStation 5 game.
Yeah, and the nice thing is they're not actually taking anything out. It's going to support everything. So all the stuff, including the 2v1 battle mode multiplayer, is coming through. The single player campaign is coming through. They're going to release DLC for it as well, and they're even going to support the gyroscopic motion controls, so you can actually use it to go with. So they're doing it all. And if you buy it before December the 22nd, you'll get a download code for Doom 64 and the Rip and Tear content pack as well, which contains like a load of skins and stuff from their campaign. So it's well worth it, because Doom 64 is actually an awesome game if you haven't played it. It's a bit more slower paced compared to the normal Dooms, but it's so good. And obviously Doom Eternal just looked the tits, but I never had my PlayStation 4 around for me to play it when it came out. So now it's getting the Switch release after them going, we might not, we might. They're like, yes we are, and it's literally a couple of weeks later they're like, here's it coming out.
I know we've joked on this show about some of the games they've released on the Switch and how they just look a bit rubbish. Nothing is really making the same uses of the hardware as it needs to. Like things like Skyrim, it's not the best version of it, but at least it's there. But for them to bring Doom Eternal onto it,
the original Doom on it played amazing, absolutely, and it looked good. Like obviously it wasn't all light, shiny, and made, but it looked good enough to go, this looks nice. Yeah, and to play on the Switch as well, like handheld, ragging around Doom. Tell you honestly, if you would have told me when I was a little whippersnapper, I could have been doing that to that sort of level, I wouldn't have believed you.
Have you ever seen Ark Survival? Is it called? Is that dinosaur one?
Yeah.
On the Switch. If you haven't seen it, just go on YouTube and type in Ark Survival Switch and watch some of the videos that people have made of it. It is horrendous. It's
really?
It's the one of. I mean, it looks like Doom 64 Edge.
Oh wow!
It is absolutely terrible, to the point where people have done little supercuts of it. Where do you know when I can't remember what video it was from, but someone playing the Jurassic Park theme tune on a on a recorder or something like that, and it's really out of tune. Have you ever seen that video? It's that they play that along with it, and it just fits it because it just looks horrendous. Looks the worst thing I've ever seen on a console.
Have you seen Life of the Black Tiger?
No.
On the PS4?
No.
I 1,000,000,000% recommend Googling Life of Black Tiger.
I'm on it.
On the PS4. So this looks like an original PlayStation game.
Yeah.
I think it was originally a mobile game, and then they ported it across to the PS4.
Yeah. This is only 3 years ago as well. Yeah, I can see. Oh, this is terrible.
It's everything.
Looks like
about
a PS1 game.
Yeah, but it's like I watched a full-on playthrough because I tried it on the mobile, going like, it can't be that bad.
Right.
And I was like, oh my god, it's awful, like just on the mobile alone. And I was like, yeah, delete that after like 2 minutes. But then they were like, yeah, I'm not going to change anything here, it's on the PS4. It's like broken, like localization is just non-existent. And like it's just horrendously awful. And yeah, it just looks and plays like ass. Like there's just nothing nice about it at all.
The fact that Sony actually uploaded the trailer onto the official PlayStation channel.
Yeah,
I would have just gone, no, we're having none of that. And the top comment is, this really pushes the PS1 to its limits. I wonder if it's backwards compatible on the PS5.
In fact, the best comment on that so far is these high quality exclusives are the reason why I prefer PlayStation over Xbox. that wins the internet for today.
Oh, last thing to speak. Sorry, but you mentioned exclusives, and it made me think of Spider-Man, which made me think about Into the Spider-Verse, which I have just recently watched for the first time.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I hadn't watched it. I watched it the weekend, and
Damn.
oh my god, where was that years ago, Sony? Because that is, I think, if not the best, one of the best Spider-Man films so far.
Yeah.
And it's like, Sony, why didn't you? I love the idea that it opens up with them taking the piss out of their own films, and then just doubling down on them, on the madness of it. Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir, like some of that shit is just fantastic. Like I had no idea. Everyone was telling me, "Oh, it's fantastic. You should definitely see it." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll get to it." And it's so good. It's genuinely so good. Left me feeling just like, wow. So yeah, that's my very short review of it. It left me feeling wow.
Yeah, and the soundtrack to it's just immense. It's just everything about that film is just so good, and that's why I love the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. It's on the PS4 and 5. The soundtrack to that and the feel of that just makes me really want the next Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Really,
Have you seen the cat that you can unlock in Miles Morales?
Yes. Yeah.
It's just part of a little side mission, and you rescue a cat for a shop owner. But once you complete the game, you can actually unlock a suit where you have a backpack that has this little cat that pokes his head out, and he's got a Spider-Man mask on, and he'll actually do an attack for you if you press the right button combination. You'll sort of do this somersault, and the cat just goes flying out your bag and scratches people in the face, and then jumps back into your bag. It looks wild. Amazing. That is what the PS5 is all about.
Yeah, I was going to say, so just before we started podding, just very quickly, me and Dan were talking before you jumped in, Dave. So my boss usually books off Black Friday for doing all the shopping and whatnot, and then he messaged us at 10:30 in the morning going, "Uh-oh, looks like shopping's been cancelled," and it's a picture of him holding his PS5. And he was like, admittedly, it's his Christmas present, but he wanted to do up the updates and stuff so he could just enjoy it on Christmas Day. So he did the usual, you unbox it, plug it in, play Astrobot. And now I believe the hype is fully real, because as every single website you'll ever go on keeps talking about how amazing the controller is for it, you always think, yeah, they've got to say that. It's bound to be like, oh, look, but the controller is amazing. He was genuinely saying that this controller is the most like surreal and phenomenal experience you'll ever have playing a game. He was like, everything about this controller is just amazing. And from what I've heard about Spider-Man Miles Morales, is like when you're doing the web slinging, so like when you're about to do it, it like builds up, and that your controller, like the haptic feedback, proper starts pushing down, and then when you let go, it just flings out the trigger. So it actually feels as though you're letting go of a web, you're just swinging it through, and your spidey sense actually vibrates to certain parts of like the pad, so you know where an attack's coming from just before it happens and stuff. So it's like very clever the way that they've used it, and it just makes you think you've got Spider-Man just like so good, because the original Spider-Man game was awesome. So the remaster is going to be nice once you get your head around the actual change of Peter Parker's model. But yeah, the Miles Morales is just done so fucking well, and now they're utilising the pad completely. I just can't wait for this generation now. I think it's going to be so goddamn good. And if you're having more games like Miles Morales, then I'm all for it. So, yes, that was my quick mini. You need to buy a PS5 because the pad's amazing. And now I've heard it from an actual real person and not an internet person. I'm genuinely excited.
Real people are overrated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to calling everyone noobs on WoW in a minute, so, I'm all good. But up until that time frame, I need to be down with my peeps.
True dat.
Reds. So, on that note, and I think before it gets even more surreal, I believe we should call it.
Yes, indeed.
Sounds good.
It has been a pleasure, and hopefully next time we podcast, I can let you all know what's in the box from Microsoft.
I don't want. Do I have to? Do you mean that's Wednesday when we do the D&D? Because I don't want to wait till next Monday to find out. And especially if you're like, oh, I can't join tonight. I'm like, what's in the fucking box, Dave? So can you just message us to let us know?
Well, we'll see. We'll see how we're doing.
Oh. Okay, fair enough. But if it's a Series X, you need to tell me.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, cool. I'm down with that. And on that note, I've been Reg.
I've been Dave. Oh, jeez, we screwed it up. We got this
alphabetical.
far.
Come on.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm not taking any responsibility from that. Anyway, goodbye.
All right, bye.
It's been a pleasure. Toodles.
Bye.